welcome to week 3 of college football here at Devore Stadium, where two local JUCOs battled it out for bragging rights in San Diego County. It's the Southwestern Jaguars and the Palomar Comets here on the Cali Photo Network, your home for Jaguars athletics. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner Ramon Scott. And partner, both teams come to this game 1-1, winning their opening week and wanting to forget about week 2. What will Southwestern need to do well today to get back over 500?
Well, I think for the Jaguars, Bo, one thing they're going to have to do is make sure that they can kind of corral Palomar's passing attack. Now, Zeke Payne is the quarterback for Rancho Bernardo, and maybe from Rancho Bernardo, but he's for Palomar, of course. And, you know, Payne has been a guy who has a reputation as a strong arm and a good quarterback, but they've kind of toned it down a little bit. They're going with a little more of a running attack, but they are known at Palomar for a wide-open offense. So I think the way Southwestern started to play defense, even in last week's blowout, there were some positive signs. These two teams know each other very, very well. So I think right now going into this game, Bo, I think Southwestern with the home field advantage can feel like maybe they're expected and favored to win this game. But Palomar comes in also with that 1-1 record. And I'll tell you this, Bo, these two teams, the last time they played, this will be the third straight meeting at this field. They didn't play last year, of course. No one played in the 2020 season. The score of the last time they played here, 28-24 Southwestern. Now, what's interesting about that is they also played the last game of the season in 2018, and that was the Beach Bowl. And that was played right here at Devore Stadium. The final score of that one, 28-24 also. So not going to make any predictions here, Bo, but 28-24 sounds like we'd have a pretty fun night. We'd have some scoring, we'd have some offense, we'd have a victory. That would be a fun night.
And starting the game, obviously, my mic was mute, so I don't even think they got my intro. So that's a great way to start the broadcast. We are
go from the top, as far as I'm concerned.
We are 5 minutes away from kickoff at Devore Stadium. Southwestern hosting Palomar. Two local teams, a lot of local kids on both sides of the ball. We'll start with Southwestern. Their leading tackle, Jaheim Williams, the safety.
Yeah, Williams, I think back of that first game against Grossmont, Bo, he was pretty awesome in that game. I mean, a pair of sacks. For a safety as well as he did that game, maybe he didn't make as much noise last week in the game against Canyons. But not many people did on this Southwestern club. That's really what they're looking to bounce back from. But Williams right now, if you had to pick a star of this defense, there were some big plays in week 1 and week 2, but Williams is certainly one of the big names for Southwestern on D.
Both teams won their opening week. Southwestern beat Grossmont here 10-3, and the visiting team, Palomar Comets, beat Victor Valley 31-3 and then got a taste of their own medicine in week 2, losing to Golden West 31-3.
Oh, well, that could be a score too, Bo, 31-3.
A similar fashion in week 2 for Southwestern. They got really dominated on all ends of offense, defense, special teams. They played a really good team week 2. So looking to really respond well here today in week 3.
Yeah, but I will mention to you, Bo, Canyons today, who, handled Southwestern so impressively here last week at 52-10, as you mentioned. They went on the road today and beat Fullerton 22-17. I think that was going to be a close game going in. Canyons certainly on a roll. Fullerton with a great reputation, maybe not as super strong as in years past, but a great game today. Canyons beat Fullerton 22-17. So just a little bit of measuring sticks going around. We'll have some other finals for you. Captains out there, Bo?
Yeah, it's Fuamatu, De La Cruz, and Escanio for Southwestern. Looks like Dorian Richardson's out there, a local RBV kid. For Palomar, I didn't get the other two captains for Palomar. We are about 3 minutes away from kickoff here at Devore Stadium. Week 3 action of junior college football. A lot of these kids know each other from the high school days. Even looking at the defensive side for Palomar, talk about guys like Chris Sanchez from La Casa Canyon. He had an interception. Masato Thompson has an interception as well this season. Lance DeSorbo from Escondido, he leads the team for tackles for losses and is third on the team with 8 tackles. Vavega Cialoe leads the team with 11 tackles, kid from Vista.
The Comets are going to get this one first, Bo. These two teams, of course, Coach Carberry likes to call it the king of the county. The 4 teams match up against one another. Mesa, Grossmont, Palomar, and Southwestern. So,
and we're going to take a quick break for our national anthem. And thank you for joining us here on the Cali Photo Network, your home for Jaguars athletics. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner Ramon Scott, bringing you today's action from Devore Stadium. 2 local junior colleges battling it out for really the rights to victory at this point. We'll see who comes out on top. Both teams come in this game 1-1, winning their opening week. Bragging rights on the table here today, and both teams losing last week as well. So we'll see how both sides respond today.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that, Bo. This is a big game for both these clubs. Mesa's going to have something to say about it when you talk about the round-robin competition between the teams in San Diego County. We'll keep an update on their scores as well. They're playing East LA tonight. Grossmont is at Citrus, but we've got 2 of our teams right here, the Jaguars and the Comets. And like I said, we look at it as so long ago, but it was just back in 2018 that they played a bowl game right here, and then they played in 2019 right here. The final score of both those games, we said off the top, 28-24, Southwestern. Wouldn't be surprised if we're looking at the same exact thing here tonight. Maybe a little bit less scoring, maybe 1 touchdown less. Don't know. Could be. Could be 50 points.
We'll be mentioning local kids all here today. Back to return the kickoff, Rands Garner out of El Camino, and Tyler Pye, number 19. And it looks like they'll give it to the local kid to start week 3 here at Devore Stadium. He crosses the 25 and gets tackled. We'll call it the 27, and that's where Palomar will start their opening possession. Zeke Payne coming on the field, Rancho Bernardo grad. Last week he was 18 of 34 with 1 pick on the season, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. Completes about 53% of his passes.
Yeah, and they were up against a good opponent as well, but I think they were expecting a little bit more from Zeke. I think Zeke was expecting a little bit more from Zeke.
Tyree Walker is their leading back. He's in the hip pocket of Payne, left side. In motion is Alex Hill, their leading receiver. Hill goes on the drag. He'll get the first target of the day, and he'll cross the 50 into Southwestern territory. First play, first big gain for the Palomar offense.
Yeah, that's Alex Hill, the receiver out of Vista Murrieta. Moving quickly. Here are the Comets. Look, Bo, the Comets have put up some big numbers in years past. They're a team that they've had games that go over 1,000 yards.
Walker behind Payne. They'll look to the sideline. Brockbank, near side receiver, Hill in the slot. They'll hand it off to Walker. Walker keeps his feet moving, but is brought down as a flag is thrown from the near side official. Looks like we're going to have a personal foul on the Comets. I saw the near side official point towards the Comets, but I saw a Comets player clap as if it was against Southwestern. And it looks like it will be against the Comets. Oh, well, they started marching back, then they marched it forward, so the personal foul is on the defense. I'm
glad the official's mic was working on that one, Bo. Hey, I'm not going to mention the P word yet. You go ahead and announce what just happened, but I don't want to jinx it. Let's hope we have. Last week we had a lot less penalties last week.
Yeah, yep. It was the game was much more fluid. That is for sure, as most games are with less penalties. Once again, Hill and Brockbank, your near side receivers for the Comets. And back-to-back penalties.
Okay, well, if it's going to be against the opponent, I can get a dig in.
First and 15 from the Jaguars 33. Walker gets a handoff right side. And a combo of Jaguars bring down Walker at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Walker's been the leading rusher of this team over the first two games, 120 yards on the ground. We'll see Rance Garner. We'll see Dorian Richardson hopefully tonight. I mean, that's just goes to show you the talent, Bo. Dorian Richardson, he's had like 5 carries so far this year, maybe only 3, and we know his talents.
Payne gets the snap, looks left side, has his receiver deep, the jump ball, and brought down inside the 5. Brandon Johnson with the big catch.
Yeah, Johnson's caught just 3 balls this season, but, Payne is a guy who gets it to several of his receivers. He's already hit like 8 or 9 of them so far in just the 2 games. Escanio was on the coverage. It was just a well-thrown ball and a really good catch.
Yeah, I would say Payne threw his receiver open on that with the back shoulder. Escanio had good position on the inside, but Payne with the great ball towards the sideline. Walker off the right side again, breaks the tackle. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Walker with the opening touchdown, and the Comets go up early 6-0.
Look, Bo, I know the Comets were down there inside the 5, but it was not a good job of tackling by the Jaguars there. It certainly had 2, if not 3 men, at least put some paws on him, but couldn't bring him down.
Yeah, he was initially hit at the line of scrimmage, but kept his feet moving and broke 2 more tackles after that, fighting through and crossing the goal line. 12:32 still on the clock. It took him about 2.5 minutes to get down the field. Really 2 big plays in the air got him down there, and the extra point is good to give the Comets a nearly 7-0 lead.
Well, and I think that's the Zeke Payne that we know. I mean, he was in charge of that drive, and some real good passes, and right down the field. So the Jags are definitely going to put them on notice.
Yeah, we saw I wouldn't say necessarily in a variety of ways because there's only a couple passes, but we saw that short intermediate pass to Hill over the middle, and it was really the same route. Hill went inside, the safety bit on him, and it was one-on-one on the outside, and Payne decided to get it to his single-side receiver. And once again, a great play by Johnson to bring it in inside the 5 to open up the touchdown for the leading rusher for the Comets.
And we'll get a chance to see the Southwestern offense after this kickoff, unless we can get something going on special teams.
Sean Bryant had a couple nice returns last week. Brought in near the 10, crosses the 30, and is brought down before he got to the 35. Looks like Christian Jourdain for the Jaguars.
In talking with Southwestern head coach Ed Carberry this week, We talked a little bit about maybe they could get the ball into Terry Wright's hands early on. We saw him become very explosive in the second half last week after the game was kind of in the bag for Canyons. But we saw Wright catch multiple passes, 15 yards, 20 yards.
And week 3, we have our third starting quarterback for the Jaguars. Brandon Smith, who came into the game late in week 2, gets the start today. And Elliott, who got to start week 2, remains the starting running back for the Jaguars. Elliott gets the ball up the middle, makes a couple nice moves, and gain of 8 for Elliott. Elliott had the only touchdown last week for the Jaguars in that blowout. It looks like the Jaguars will get quickly up to the line again. Jourdain, the single-side receiver, near side. Elliott will get the handoff again. Same play, bounces it right, and gets tripped up by the near side corner. Great job. Looks like he almost could have broke that up. Okay. And that was Coleman on the run. Excuse me. Looked like 39 from up here. We'll call it 38. Coleman with the rock again off the right side. And gets tackled out of the line of scrimmage.
Well, this week, same thing. We saw a completely different set of backs in week 2 as we did in week 1, which was interesting. But we saw Coleman last week, 13 carries, 42 yards. We saw Jazzo come in the game in the second half, and things were kind of out of control. But he also had 37 yards. And the Jaguars really didn't have much of a running game in the first week until these two guys really have gotten the ball. We've seen Robinson run a little bit, but really it's Coleman. He's the one that had a little bit of yardage last week.
2nd and 10 for the Jaguars. Smith with the snap, hands it off to Coleman. Has a hole and will pick up 4 to bring up a 3rd and 6.
Tackle made there by Khalid Walker, freshman out of North Las Vegas for the Comets.
Terry Wright into the game. Rosar, the near side receiver, the local kid, playing here, also played here on his home field while playing with the Barons of Bonita Vista. Smith under pressure, tucks and runs, gets past the first down marker, and is tackled in Comet territory for the first down. Smith uses his legs.
How about the decision-making by Smith there? Now, it could have been last week, the situation they were in. We didn't see him really run at all except running for his life. Here, the decision was made. He was getting out of pressure, but a big, big gain right there.
Poston, the slot receiver, near side, along with Rosar on the far side. Smith to the left, tosses it to his back, and a great open field tackle by the Comets.
Yeah, Coleman picks up a yard on that one.
We saw Southwestern use that pitch play a couple times last week. Worked out pretty well. This time they go to the near side, or excuse me, the short side of the field. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Coleman in Smith's hip pocket. And once again, well, actually, this one tackle for loss for the Comets, their first of the day.
Yeah, and it was a pass. They flipped it forward to Wright.
Wright comes hobbling off.
And that's what Coach Carberry said, that Wright could get it a little more early in the first half. Really, his gains last week were all in the second half. He's the team's leading receiver with 12 receptions for 115 yards. Jourdain has a little more yardage, 11 catches for 137 yards. Southwestern can pass.
3rd and 10. Smith looks far side, has pressure off the edge, and hits his receiver. Big first down again. That's Christian Jourdain with a 12-yard gain.
Where would this team be without Jourdain? It's only the 3rd game of the season, but a dozen receptions now. Really, he's been the most valuable player on the offense.
1st and 10. And they're going to go to Jourdain again. One-on-one. Brings it down. A great play by Jourdain coming back for that ball. And another Jaguar first down.
Can you believe what you just saw right there? I mean, it looked like fine coverage. He out-jumped his man, Jean-Louis, and came down with the ball and got down inside the 5. Great play, Jourdain. Just what we were talking about, Bo.
One of the more impressive things about that catch was Jourdain was actually looking back into the sun. Thought that might be a difficult play, but he went up and brought it down nicely. Coleman again takes it to the 3 to bring up a 2nd and goal.
That's Luke Manos with the tackle, the Rancho Bernardo product. So another local with a tackle.
Comets scored on their opening drive. This is the Jaguars' opening drive. Best opening drive we've seen from then in 3 games. Coleman in the backfield. He gets the handoff. Smith tries to become the lead blocker. And Coleman gets another yard to bring up a 3rd and goal at the 3.
They gave it to Albert Robinson in there. And, of course, we saw him score a touchdown already this season. But all of a sudden, we've kind of stalemated ourselves by running the ball here, but no problem. I mean, inside the 5, you got to run it. You got to earn it.
Right.
And we're
Coach
talk
Carberry.
about it.
Yeah.
Well, we have a lot. All of a sudden, Bo, our life has changed. I mean, we have a lot to talk about thanks to Smith. Wow.
Well, it brings up a point. We talked about this last week, knowing that they were going against a solidified offense. Is it 4-down territory already this early in the game? Knowing that you do have a good field goal kicker, 2 for 2 on the season, Booth is. But with the Comets going down pretty easily on their opening drive, is this 4-down territory?
I don't want to get into it yet. Let's get this ball in there on 3rd down, or get it close enough. I mean, so there's not a decision, right? If I'm inside the 2, if I can even just get 1 yard here, no, I'm keeping the offense out there. Give them, if they got to go 99 yards on me, I want a touchdown out of this drive.
I'm right there with you, partner. I say they need a touchdown just for momentum and a confidence boost for the rest of the game. Receiver in motion. They'll come right. Smith tosses to his back. The dive at the front pylon. Did he get in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Jaguars.
That's Albert Robinson with the score. We hear some. Yeah, I had to be well after, right? Because Bo about had a heart attack. I mean, how long can you wait to deliver that ball to your man? Actually, he waited just exactly the right amount of time. It was scary. It looked like it was going to be a loss, and they were going to have to come out with the field goal team because it didn't look like that was going to get off at all. Robinson, incredible job once he got the ball to power his way to the pylon.
So both opening drives for both sides end in a 3-yard touchdown by their running backs. Walker for the Comets and Robinson for the Jaguars, and we have a flag after the extra point. And it looks like that will be assessed on the kickoff. Jaguars tied at 7.
So, Bo, what I want to talk, why I'm saying our life has just changed. I was fine with everything that happened in Game 1 and Game 2 when you're trying to decide what's going to be the best situation for a quarterback. When we got to see Smith last week, the game was already decided. So maybe we didn't get his best look, and he was only 3 of 10. But when you see that drive, I'm not sure that the Jaguars have had a drive like that in any of the first 2 games. That was a game changer.
Two big 3rd down conversions. The 3rd and 7, Smith uses his legs. Then the 3rd and 10, Smith goes to his key receiver, Jourdain, on the button hook. So when you talk about 3rd down conversions to keep the drives alive, That's what stood out on that opening drive for Southwestern.
Right, and I don't mean a game changer like getting back in the game. I'm just talking about like
Of
a
course.
game changer like for your as a coach, right?
100%.
Because you don't know now. You know you're staying with your guy at
Right.
this point, but if you've given all three guys a shot, now you got something to work with here at least at this time.
And the penalty on the Comets after the extra point was good is assessed on the kickoff. Be interested to see. Last time they had this opportunity, they just booted it right out of the back of the end zone. And it looks like they'll do that here. And the Comets will start their second offensive possession at the 25.
Yeah, well, Asher Booth can do that. So now that the Griffin defense, they get a chance to prove themselves again. That last drive wasn't necessarily a fluke, but also, Bo, remember what I said about there could be. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm totally optimistic that there could be a ton of offense here, but it's been a pretty exciting couple of minutes so far.
The first time in 3 weeks we've seen both sides go down and score a touchdown on their opening drives. 7 minutes still remaining in the first quarter. Zeke Payne behind snap. He'll hand it off to Walker up the gut and is chopped down by Jaheim Williams, Jaguars' leading tackler. Not before he got 8.
Yeah,
Walker.
just a run up the gut there. I thought the Jaguars actually did a pretty good job last week on the Canyons running game.
Payne tries to catch the Jaguar front line. Off guard. They stay put. 2nd and 2. Payne keeps it himself. The play fake. And a great job by that far side corner. That's Donnell Frazier Jr.
Yeah,
Great break on the ball right there.
Yeah, the former El Camino Wildcat. He looked at his palms like, I should have one right there, but the receiver kind of he was reaching for the ball too, so Frazier couldn't get a full grab of it. Great play.
Intended receiver was Darius Garrison on that far side. Third and 2. Williams is coming off the edge. And I think an offensive lineman saw that coming, tried to move before the ball was snapped, and will get called for the false start, bringing up a 3rd and 7.
Now the Jaguars can establish something defensively on this play.
I don't believe the Comets had a 3rd down on that opening drive. Moved the ball down the field efficiently with a couple big plays. Nonetheless, brings up a 3rd and 7. Williams comes off the edge again, and pressure up the middle, drops it off to Walker. He has the edge and gets the first down. A big play by Walker, finding that first down marker.
Give credit to Payne, getting away from a lot of pressure. Give Walker a lot of credit as well, racing to where he needed to be. Southwestern, great job that time, but great play. Great play by the Comets.
Pye and Johnson, your near side receivers. Pye in the slot. Johnson, the outside receiver near side. 2 receivers on top of the screen. Walker in the hip pocket of Payne. Tight end in motion. They'll hand off to Payne. A short gain, but a flag on the far side field.
Jacob Buchanan on the stop there for the Jaguars.
And we have an offsides by the Jaguars. That play will be nullified, bringing up a 1st and 5 for the Comets. Escanio, the near side corner. Frazier, the far side corner. Harrington, the near side safety. They'll go near side, thrown behind the intended receiver. Bringing up a 2nd and 5. Good coverage near side by Escanio. Even if Russell did catch that ball, Escanio was right on his hip. And maybe one of the reasons why he forced a errant pass by Payne. Brockbank now the single side receiver on near side. Pie in the slot. Tight end in motion. Payne looks far side, gets hit on the throw. The 50-50 ball knocked away by Frazier.
Nice play by Frazier. It hung up there. It was going to be, likely going to end up in an incompletion because those guys are going to jump for. Let's meet some of the Comets up front. 67, Jude Steffen out of La Costa Canyon. Jared Furlbottom out of Temecula. Also,
Yeah, that ball floated in the air because of the pressure of the defensive front from the Jaguars. Pinning their ears back, bringing up a 3rd and 5.
74, Dylan Rollmeyer. 75 is Tommy Bloom. And 76, Jonas Woods. Bloom's out of Rancho Bernardo as well. A lot of Broncos on this team.
Alex Hill in the slot near side, their leading receiver. He's looking that way. Tries to get away from pressure and has nothing downfield, and Payne will throw that ball away to bring up a 4th down.
Yeah, Andrew Sola, 96, was chasing him down, and it's going to be a punt situation. The Sola brothers last week, Bo, talked about how well they did on run defense against the Cougars, and those guys combined for 9 tackles last week, the Sola brothers. Escanio's going to get a chance, huh?
Nice high booming punt
Chance at a fair catch.
by the Comets kicker Landon Ogles out of RB Rancho Bernardo, a San Diego school up north.
Yeah, 38-yard punt average.
And that's where the Jaguars will start their second offensive possession at their own 26-yard line.
That one might have been 38, 39 as well.
Smith back on with Coleman in the backfield. Coleman will get the handoff. And off the edge was a Comet with ferociousness. That's Luke Manos.
Second time you've called Manos already in the first quarter, Bo.
Came off the edge like a rocket, unblocked, untouched, and made the, we'll call it half tackle for loss. Maybe lost a yard, half a yard. Play fake. Smith rolls right, has his receiver in the flats. Nice open field tackle right there by Jalen Dye. And that will bring up a 3rd and 5. Poston back on the field along with Rayshawn Holscher for the Jaguars. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Smith looks near side. His receiver's not there. Still looking downfield and pushed from behind. Number 31, Vavega Cialoe.
Yeah, Cialoe, the team's leading tackler. Talk about feeling the backside pressure, Bo. I don't think he felt that until it was actual.
Until he actually felt it.
It was 2-hand touch when you don't like your opponent on the street, right? Just pushed him right on the ground and knocked him down that way. So gonna have to give it back.
Jaguars unable to get a first down on their second possession.
McElligott into punt, averaging 35 yards a kick this season.
And the punt near side.
That's a masterful, wonderful kick. Great job by McElligott.
It's definitely been one of the bright sides, other than giving up 1 punt return last week to Canyons. Their special teams has done a great job this season.
Yeah, I've got that one as about 51, 52-yarder right there. Great job, McElligott out of Granite Hills.
And the Comets will start their 3rd offensive possession inside their own 25. 3:02 still remaining in the first quarter. Tyree Walker had the game-opening touchdown from 3 yards out, and Robinson responded on the Jaguars' open possession with a 3-yard touchdown. That's where we're at right here, 7-7. Zeke Payne behind snap. The Rancho Bernardo quarterback hands it off to Walker, bounces it to the right, sticks his foot, gets upfield, and pick up a nice 9-yard gain, but a flag from the backfield.
Maybe give Michael Harrington the credit on the tackle, but boy, you talk about the patience, the real patience showed there by Walker. You know, you can't always teach that. Kind of just ran up to his line, rested on his lineman, put his hand on his lineman, waited to see what he could do, bounced it to the outside, got a gain, but it's all for naught.
The holding call will march back to Comets 10 yards.
So, Boa, Palomar head coach Joe Early is a great coach. He's been here 19 years now. If he wins this game, win number 100 in his career. He's not 99. We don't want to.
That's a big deal.
I was hesitating to say that, but
no, that's a big deal.
It is, and Coach Early's great. Was a great player, championship coach as well.
Payne hands off to Walker up the middle, keeps his feet, and a nice job by Walker was stumbling out the gates, but picks up 11 for a big first down gain.
Yeah, Jeriah Jackson on the tackle with that one, the San Diego Caver. Came up with a pick last week, if I'm not mistaken. It was a sack. Where we called him?
Tomato.
Trying to forget last week, Bo. Told you we'd have a good time tonight.
Dorian Lewis in the backfield for the Comets. Running back out of Torrey Pines. He's in motion. And a nice dump off to the tight end. Breaks a couple tackles. Crosses the 50. And that's actually where he'll be brought down at the 50-yard line.
That's Jay Cassidy, the former Cathedral Catholic Don. What was Payne thinking there? Was he running? Was he passing? Maybe he just saw at the last minute.
He saw his
Cassidy
outlet, and he
right there, yeah.
decided he'd dump it off.
Another great decision.
No, I was just going to say another great move by Payne. We've seen him do that a couple times here today, where he just stepped up in the pocket, created enough time to find a receiver downfield. Lewis again in motion.
Fourth reception of the year for him, and that was his biggest of the year.
Payne has a wide open receiver in the flats. Can Elijah Williams track him down? He did, but not before a big gain by number 21, their leading receiver, Alex Hill.
Yeah, I'm not sure, Bo. If it's my job to analyze that play, I can only guess.
It was the corner following the receiver on the slant.
Right.
And they just had a combo route. Outside receiver went to the slant, inside receiver. I mean, it's a typical combo route you see at every level. Just a little confusion on the Jaguars secondary. Payne hands off to Walker, left side, back pedals, and is brought down, tackle for loss.
Yeah, Buchanan again. Nice job by the freshman out of Centennial of Las Vegas.
We'll actually call it a no gain, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I'm not minding when the Comets hand the ball off right now. I got to be honest with you.
Walker still in the backfield. Johnson, the single side receiver near side. Alex Hill in the slot. Payne will hand off to Walker. Has a hole off the right side and will get near the first down marker. Looks like he'll be a yard short, and that's where the first quarter will end. Both teams came out firing on all cylinders, scoring on their opening possession. And it's Palomar 7, Southwestern 7 here on the Cali Photo Network.
Well, I'm not saying I promised us a close game last week, but after a quarter to be in this situation, we've been entertained. Running the ball behind Jonas Woods there on that last play. They did get a nice push, so after I was complimenting the Jags on their job defensively on the run game. A little bit of a nice burst there by the Comets.
So we've seen the Comets offensively fairly balanced, using their rushing attack and their air attack in that first quarter.
Yeah, but I think you can see that some of the big plays that they have, that kind of explosiveness, and I think that that's what they're, trying to. They're frankly known for being that type of offense, and I think that we're kind of seeing what they think they have with Zeke Payne at quarterback. I don't think they're unlike the Jaguars, where they've gone through. There's definitely 3 quarterbacks on the Jaguars right now. Okay, for the Comets, they've got Zeke Payne at this point. Not they have other quarterbacks as well. I'm just saying Zeke Payne is going to be out.
Is their guy?
Yeah. We have enjoyed it so far, despite it going against us.
And the start of the second quarter, it's 3rd and 1 for the Comets. Tawee Walker, the Comets leading back in the backfield. Alex Hill in the slot far side. We have a receiver in motion. Walker will get the handoff up the middle and will get tackled inside the 5 for a Comet first down.
And that time they ran behind 67, Jude Steffen out of LCC. So a 1st and goal.
Tajay Brooks into the game for the Comets. He's the far side receiver, single side receiver. Alex Hill in the slot for the Comets on the near side. He'll look towards Brooks' way in the corner, and Brooks can't bring it in.
Woo, give some credit to Frazier. He had his hands all over his man, but maybe it was a fair fight for the ball. I think the hand fighting was kind of going both ways.
Good no call from our angle. Nice ball by Payne. Obviously, he gave Brooks an opportunity, gave him a chance to bring it in.
Yeah, I was surprised it wasn't a little higher thrown, but then seeing the kind of contact.
Sometimes you surprise a corner that way, yeah.
The contact, maybe Payne saw that he was going to be in kind of a situation like that, and he could come back for the ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. Walker in the hip pocket of Payne. Over the middle, unable to bring it in, was the intended receiver, Brockbank.
I think that was the right play. It just didn't work out. It certainly was. It was supposed to be a low throw. It maybe even was designed for a diving, lunging catch, but the play was not made.
Yeah, this close to the goal line. The tight window, at that point, you have to make an exceptional play on both sides as the quarterback and the receiver. And it looks like the Comets with their first time out of the game with 14-15 still remaining in the first half. Score remains 7-7.
Okay, well, I can see that. The 3rd and goal at the 4-yard line, so this is one you want to make sure of right now if you're the Comets. So, Bo, at the end of our 3-game homestand, believe it or not, coming to an end. Jaguars going to hit the road, take on Cerritos next week, followed by a road trip at Chaffee, and then a bye before we get back home for a couple of games and a couple of tough opponents. Fortunately, this is a good month away now, but Golden West, followed by Fullerton. Going to bring in some highly ranked teams into Devore when we come back.
Yeah, Golden West was the team that beat the Comets in week 2, 31-3. That's a good program out in the Orange County. Walker in the backfield. And he's in motion near side, and that ball is knocked down at the line of scrimmage to bring up a 4th down.
Maybe it was Jace Fuamatu who kind of got his arm just in the right spot. I don't think it was a deflected ball. I thought he hit his arm possibly. Nonetheless, it's going to bring on the field goal unit with Ogles.
Ogles, a local kid out of Rancho Bernardo, 2 of 2 on the season. This one will be from 21, his longest 29 on the season. Great job by the holder on the high snap, getting it down in time. And Ogles is true, giving the Comets a 10-7 lead with 14:08 remaining in the first half.
Well, it's not a terrible result if you're the Southwestern Jaguars, right? Really looked like a lot of momentum right there for the offense of the Palomar Comets, but the Jags were able to toughen up right there, especially inside the 5-yard line, and keep them out of the end zone. So
the Comets score on their third offensive possession. Jaguars responded after the Comets scored on their opening possession. We'll see how they do this time around.
Citrus on top of Grossmont, 13-0 late first quarter. East LA and Mesa just getting underway. They were a 6:30 start. One postponement to tell you about today, Orange Coast and Santa Barbara. That game was postponed.
This ball will be kicked off. Inside the 10, brought in.
Jourdain
has a lane. Jourdain crossed the 40. Doesn't quite get up to midfield, but a nice open field tackle by Cialoe coming across the field to knock Jourdain out of bounds.
Great running by Jourdain, but the special teams did the work to get him that lane.
Yeah, Cialoe came across the field like a man on a mission, knocked Jourdain out of bounds, and Jourdain looked a little banged up after that big hit. Coleman in the backfield with Smith. Coleman to Griffin near side, the local product, and nice open field tackle by Luke Monroe. We've mentioned him a few times today.
Yeah, we saw Griffin get in the scorebook last week in the second half. You'd think Griffin is a player, I'd like to see him get some chances. We know he can be explosive.
Yeah, when we talk about Jaguars receivers, most of them are sub 6 foot. Griffin is really the only 6'2", legitimate, almost 6'3" receiver that the Jaguars have. Smith had Jourdain near side, overthrew his intended receiver, bringing up a 3rd and 11.
He sure did have his man. Jourdain put quite a move on his coverage, and Jourdain was standing in the open, Bo, quite frankly, for about 2 seconds, and that ball was overthrown. That was Jourdain won the route.
Yeah, it's nice to see Jourdain back on the field after taking that big hit on special teams. And Carberry looks like he's going to call a timeout. That's the Jaguars' second timeout of the first half. They have one remaining. 13:21 still left.
I'm not sure about the personnel confusion there or whatever it is. I mean, this offense, they've all gathered around for this discussion.
And the Jaguars right back on the field. Razar and Poston are the far side receivers. Jourdain and Holscher, near side receivers. Coleman in the backfield, along with Smith. 3rd and 11. Smith looks near side to Jourdain. He was covered, rolls right, has a receiver, and unable to bring it in. It would have been a first down. And a great ball by Smith, creating some time. But Poston unable to bring it in, brings up a fourth.
Yeah, Poston ran. He kept running his route, so it definitely was thrown behind him. Did make a nice stop to try to come and get that ball. It's going to bring on McElligott from the Jaguar 46.
Tyler Pye back to field the punt. And McElligott will not give him an opportunity. After the ball landed out of bounds, a flag was thrown. And looking at the reactions of both sides, it looks like it was on the Comets. Ball was kicked out of bounds at the Comet 32. Comets coach is saying the player tripped rather than it being a block in the back. Referees are convening at the 30.
While they discuss it, I'll talk about that punt for a moment because McElligott, we've seen he is kind of a master of the sideline punt. We've seen him, but it hasn't been something that the Jaguars have completely focused on in the first 2 games this season. So it looks like they're on notice a little bit with the return game of the Comets.
Looks like the personal foul will be called on the Comets. So that will take them inside their own 20 with 13:08 remaining in the first half. Once again, both sides scored on their opening possession. The Comets leading back, punched one in from 3 yards out, and Robinson for the Jaguars responded on their opening drive. And the Comets scored a field goal, or kicked a field goal on their last possession. Ogle's good from 21 yards out.
So that penalty will certainly help because it wasn't the farthest punt that McElligott's had. It served its purpose. I'm sure he wished he would have been able to tack on a few more yards, but this works just fine. Going to start him back on the 15.
This will be the worst starting position for the Comets. Zeke Payne in the backfield with Walker. Hill, the far side receiver, in the slot. Hands off to Walker up the middle. And Walker will get a couple before being brought down.
Yeah, Savion Williams got in there to make the stop. Walker, he's a tank back there. He's got huge calves. He's really a patient runner, but hasn't some burst in there.
From Centennial in Arizona, stands at 5'10", 215 pounds is what they have him listed on the roster. Pye, the slot receiver near side. It's the first time we've seen this spread offense with 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, and nobody in the backfield. Extra pass protection for the Comets. Hits his receiver in the flats.
Did I mention he's got a move or two up his sleeve?
And a great move in the open field by Walker, picking up the first down.
Was one step. Not saying I wouldn't have fallen down on my behind too, but it wasn't a shake and bake.
Johnson and Pye, the 2 receivers near side. Walker back in the backfield.
A nice fake though.
Yeah, this is a formation we've seen often from the Comets here today. Pressure up the middle, drops it off to Walker, and a nice open field tackle getting off the block of Pye. That's Jaheim Williams.
Even Jaheim might have had some hesitation knocking down Walker like a bowling pin.
Yeah, it's always so tough. Not only it being an open field tackle, but getting off the block, using your hands, freeing yourself up, and tackling a running back that just showed some elusiveness in the open field.
His receiver they were still in contact with one another as he made that stop.
The play fake Thrown to the far side in the flats, and a nice open field tackle. Pye brought it in on the reception, but Ascanio got him down quickly.
Great job by Ascanio. I thought he was going to get away for a moment. Ascanio would have none of that.
Ascanio had a good beat on that ball, saw it quickly out of the hands of Payne.
Ascanio's been one of the leading tacklers on this team so far. We know he's had some big pass defended plays so far this season, but he's also got over a dozen tackles this season for sure. That's probably 8 now.
Ascanio comes near side to guard Garrison. Running back in motion. And pressure off the edge, slips through the tackle. Payne gets loose. They had him at the line of scrimmage, but Payne uses his legs again on third down.
Well, that was unfortunate, Bo. Savion Williams definitely had him by the leg. He got away. A couple more Jaguars within striking distance, but Payne was elusive and quick too, but it was really Williams. He couldn't get him wrapped up, and that was going to be a loss.
Russell and Pye, the two near side receivers for the Comets. Lewis in the backfield. He'll get the handoff and is brought down behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2.
Yeah, Gabe Acosta, give him the main credit on the play, but a host of Jags there, 2 or 3 or 4 guys helping out on bringing down Lewis.
Acosta attended Eastlake High School, a high school right around the corner here from Southwestern College. South Bay kid. Payne looks far side and brought in nicely. Great footwork right there by the receiver, Johnson.
Oh, a terrific job by Johnson, the former El Camino Wildcat, to get that foot down, but they are going to be in a little bit of a predicament here with a 3rd and 2 at midfield, just shy of midfield.
Johnson stays on. The nice pitch and catch brings up a 3rd and 2.
Should be one of the funnest plays of the game right here, I would think.
The handoff up the middle and tackled at the line of scrimmage. No push by that Comet front. Great job by the front 7 in standing up that line, bringing up a 4th and 2.
Acosta was in there. Buchanan was up from his linebacker spot.
And Zeke Payne slapped his hands as if he was saying, come on, coach, let's go for it.
Football's back here at Devore Stadium right now.
And both sidelines in it. The bad snap, but Walker gets to the edge and he has room inside the 30, the 20, the 10, 5, touchdown Comets.
Bo. I was gonna. Gabe Acosta is down. I was gonna yell some excitement. I do want to reserve, but I don't want to belittle the point. What happened though on that play? Bo, the ball was dropped. I mean, this is a play that should have been snuffed out for a game-changing turnover on downs, but.
Great heads-up play by Walker.
Walker, I mean, and he's a guy, when you see him with that ball like that, oh, man, and I just hope Gabe is okay.
I mean, it wasn't drawn to that, but when the quarterback drops the ball, everyone crashes. And Walker saw that, and he just took advantage of the edge. And once he got to the edge, that whole front 7, everyone was collapsing. They saw a run. And, fortunately, but unfortunately, Acosta's coming off.
It was the perfect break that the Jaguars needed to get the ball on the other side of the 50 right now, and it turns into 6 points just like that. That is just...
So far, the biggest play of the game. Walker extends the lead 16-7, pending the extra point. 51-yard score.
I still can't believe it.
Yeah, at this point, it's if the Comets go on to win this one, that will be a big play to put in the register.
The snap was poor. Payne couldn't really even get a hand on it. He just kind of slapped at it, and it fell to the ground, but it fell right where a spot. Now, pretty sure I don't think it was a draw. I mean, I think it was going to be – I'm going to let you get that extra point. Bowie's got it, but –
Oh, no good.
Oh, okay.
First missed extra point by Ogles on the season.
The way the play looked like it was developing, I could see that maybe Payne, the only other thing was maybe Payne was going to stuff it into the basket but keep it himself and roll to the outside for a first down and maybe just take 4 or 5 yards. The outside was going to be open if he did choose to do that, I would think. Just especially seeing how the play kind of developed. Because as Walker came up to get the ball on I'm not saying it's a read on 4th and 1, but it looked like he was going to stuff it into his basket and maybe decide at that point if he wanted to follow through with a straight ahead run. And with Walker, there's no problem. It was probably going to be 75% straight ahead run. But when the ball fell to Walker right at his feet and everybody jumbled up on the line waiting for that dive play.
Walker, his first 2 touchdowns on the season, giving the Comets a 16-7 lead with under 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Jourdain left side. Gets to the 20, but another flag is thrown on special teams. So that we can assume that's going to knock back the Jags. Jourdain tried to come near side, had a great return on his last attempt, but the Comets were all over that one. And the penalty will
that's interesting.
Bring the ball back to the 10.
There definitely was some violent contact that occurred. You could hear it up here.
Well, it's special teams. That's yeah, as far as contact and just putting your head down and going, it's special teams is a part of the game where not a lot of people like to do, but sometimes it gets you on the field and sometimes it takes you off the field just as fast.
Now you got 90 yards in front of you.
Elliott in the hip pocket of Smith, and it looks like we had some movement before the snap.
Yards in front of you.
Back-to-back penalties on the Jaguars. You know, we talk about big plays and snowball effects. Jaguars need a big play here to get the momentum back after Walker's 51-yard touchdown.
Right, and you see something like that happen, and then the first 2 things that happen are penalties against you. I mean,
yeah. That's what big plays do. Now the Jaguars with their backs on the goal line, 1st and 15. Smith looks near side towards Jourdain. He's covered, and he's running for his life, rolls right, and then unable to connect with his receiver. 3 Comets just breathing down his neck, and Smith throws it away, bring up a 2nd and 15. Another flag on the near side. Looks like we have an eligible man downfield, even though the head official pointed towards the Comets. It was on the Jaguars. That's why I was a little bit confused. But nonetheless, the penalty is declined.
Last week.
2nd and 15. Smith looks over the middle. Nothing there. He'll tuck and run. And maybe picks up 1. Nice heads-up play right there by the Comets.
Yeah, that's Ricky Luchan out of Mission Hills High School, and he made a nice stop right there. It looked like Smith could have gotten a few more yards, but not with Ricky there making that tackle.
Brings up a 3rd and long. Smith looks near side, nothing there. Rolls left. Jourdain unable to come up with it. Poked away by the near side corner. That's number 9, Jean-Louis with the breakup. Bringing up another 4th down.
Jourdain a little slow to get up. He's already played a full game here, it seems like, in just a quarter and a half. So now all of a sudden we've gone from that situation to punting from the end zone.
Yeah, Smith had to hold on to that ball longer than he initially anticipated, rolling left. And by that time, it allowed the corner to break down. And fortuitous bounce for the Jaguars, as that ball bounced on the Jaguars' side of the field. And it'll be picked up at the, called the Comet 37.
That's a 58-yard kick right there, and you say fortuitous bounce, and McElligott, he definitely knows what he's doing. He actually had some great help. The ball could have actually been returned if he didn't have that coverage team down there. Coverage team stared it down, and the Comets will start at the 42. Give Southwestern's defense another chance.
Yeah, they're going to need to come up with a big play here. The momentum has switched to the side of the Comets. Zeke Payne back on with Walker. Tight end in motion. Payne will hand off to Walker. Up the middle, bounces off a tackle, and Walker just seems to get, he's getting stronger as this first half is going along. Picks up a gain of 10 and another first down for the Comets.
Right, like I said, I compliment the Southwestern defense for the job they've done against their ground games of the opponents so far, but right now they're getting some nice holes. I'm talking about the Comets, and some nice running from Walker. It's fun to watch run, I'll tell you that.
Tajay Brooks, the near side receiver on the outside, accompanied by the slot receiver Hall. And Walker initially broke that first tackle, but great job and great pursuit by that backside of the Jaguars' front line.
Jariah Jackson, I know you were holding your breath, Bo, because it looked like it was going to be another escape job by Walker, right? But fortunately, a great play there.
Yeah, way to stay with that.
Jackson.
Under 6 minutes remaining here in the first half. 2 touchdowns by Walker. Comets 16, Jaguars 7. Hall in motion to the near side. Hall with the drag over the middle, and that ball will be thrown away. I don't know if it was miscommunication or if Zeke Payne just didn't like what he saw, so he just threw the ball away.
Escanio on the coverage there.
Yeah, Escanio had that bottled up.
So you talk about trying to get that opportunity. Let's turn back the clock a little bit right now. It's 3rd and 13.
Jaguars can get off the field here. Comets convert about 33% of their first downs. The draw to Lewis, and he doesn't get back to the line of scrimmage and will bring up a 4th and 11.
Jackson officially got the tackle.
So maybe the Comets feeling comfortable with where they're at. A safe play on 4th and long. We hadn't really seen that up to this point by the Comets, but maybe they just didn't want to give anything up, figuring they could switch the field. A beautiful punt. Kicks at the 1 and in, thankfully for the Jaguars, into the end zone.
Yeah, a little too perfect. 32-yard net on that one.
Nice spiraling kick, though, by Ogles. He is their punter and their kicker. And the Jaguars will get their next possession at the 20-yard line with 4:40 remaining. This is where you can get the momentum back. Head into halftime with the score. Bringing in within 1 possession with the Jaguars chasing 9. Brandon Smith still in the game with Coleman in his right hip pocket. And Coleman will get the handoff up the middle. He'll get a short gain of 4. Bring up a 2nd and 6.
Tackle by Riley Fountain. Local product out of Mission Hills.
Two receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Play fake by Smith, rolls right. Good coverage downfield. I wasn't sure if Smith was going to throw it, try to fit it in that tight window, but broken up nicely by the Comet secondary.
Yeah, that's Cullen Shea, a San Marcos Knight freshman.
Similar on that
Had
big
his man
third down
blanketed.
play. Smith just holding on the ball a little bit too long, and the secondary able to close down
Yeah,
that gap
we're
on those
definitely
receivers.
not seeing him be as loose, I think, as we did early on. So that'll be something we can talk about too, because we know that the Jaguars are playing a little bit of rotating quarterback, but we certainly like what we've seen from Smith so far.
Smith rolls near side, nothing there. He'll tuck, breaks through a couple defenders, and will get the first down. So we saw Payne use his legs on 3rd down. And a flag late. I'm wondering if it was Smith maybe jawing a little too much after that big first down.
that
You
would
want to
be
stay
devastating.
composed. They'll still get the first down. The flag was thrown after the play. But that would be
Yeah,
a
but
big hit
still,
for the Jaguars offense. Under 4 minutes remaining
Could
here in
that
the
be
first
what
half.
It really was. I mean,
It was thrown late, and
so we know it was some type of unsportsmanlike.
Smith
right?
was definitely
Wasn't roughness, it
excited.
was
The thing,
a casual
from what
toss.
I saw, was he wasn't initiating the conversation with a defender. Like, he was doing it towards his own sideline, and the flag was waved. Okay. So, yeah, if Smith was looking at a defender, I can see that flag being thrown.
Well, if this profession doesn't work out for you, I know that there's a shortage of officials throughout the county.
The right call was made. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Coleman on the handoff and off the edge.
Luke
Screaming
Manos.
off the edge was Manos
Luke
again.
Manos, he's got the Manos de Piedra right there, man. He's been having a great first half.
Yeah, Manos is playing lights out here today defensively. And he comes off that edge. It's hard to say if that was called by the coaching staff or if he just read that well, knowing that it was going to be a handoff. 2nd and 10. Smith, far side. And skips it to his intended receiver to bring up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's Rosar. I thought I thought he got his hands
It
under
looked
that
good from
ball.
our angle. But the receivers, the referees did have a better look at it.
Yeah. He thought he cradled it. I thought he cradled it nicely. No, obviously he didn't because he didn't jump
Yeah.
up and down.
Well, you would like to see a receiver come back to that ball. Looked like Rosar just lost his footing
and the
on.
ball hung up there
Yeah.
forever.
3rd and 10. The bubble screen near side to Griffin. 3 blockers in front of him, and nobody picks up their leading tackler, number 31, Vavesa Sialawi.
Yeah, the former Vista Panther. He's impressed us so far. Leading tackler coming in, as you said, and he is, between him and Manos, they've done the job on the Jags in this first half.
Yeah, the play call was there. They had an opportunity to pick up that first down, just poor execution, unable to pick up the block. But Vavega, again, just running through those blockers, untouched.
I think it's offsides, but took 2 minutes off the clock there.
We had a flag at the snap by the near side and far side official. It was 4th and 9, so an offsides will not bring up a first down. Maybe a re-kick. It was offsides by the Comets, and the Jaguars will re-kick. Comets coaching staff asking for a double clutch by the snapper, didn't get it. Referee's not listening to that. And it looks like they'll take 5 yards on the kick rather than re-kicking it.
Okay. If I kick it again, I am going to take another 10 or 12 seconds off the clock.
You know, a lot can, we've seen a lot can happen on special teams. But Coach Carberry and that coaching staff feel it was a good enough kick to not necessarily pin the Comets offense back, but you know, not the best starting field position for the Comets, and I think Coach Carberry is satisfied with that. 2:24 remaining in the first half. Defense needing a big stop or big turnover right here. We have yet to see a turnover in this first half. Zeke Payne looks far side, stands clean in the pocket. He has a receiver downfield and unable to bring it in. Great coverage right there by Elijah Williams.
Yes, great coverage indeed.
Good ball by Payne, rolling right. Hit his receiver in the chest, but Williams was all over that. 2nd and 10, 2:15 remaining here in the first half. Brandon Johnson, the single side receiver, near side of your screen. Hall in the slot. Handoff to Walker. Walker's just been so good at breaking that initial tackle. I don't know what his yards after contact is, but it's definitely up there. Some of the best we've seen through 3 weeks.
How about Daniel Sandoval, the former Montgomery Aztec, with a tackle there?
Under 2 minutes remaining here in the first half, and a 3rd and 5. And movement by that front line of the Comets. Tried to draw the Jaguars off sides, but Comets not on the same page right there. So the Jaguars can get the ball back. They have 1 timeout remaining. Bringing in the different personnel. Fuamatu comes back onto the field.
I was concerned, right, Bo? But all of a sudden now we can have a little 2-minute drill possibly if they can get away with this one. We'll see. If they end up just running the ball, then they'll lose some time on it. I'm not sure that the Comets would be in too much of a hurry here, but I wouldn't doubt Payne's
we saw their last 3rd and long.
There. They could run it, but I think Payne...
They did run it on their last 3rd and long, on their last possession. They were definitely conservative. 1:45 and ticking. Zeke Payne will hand the ball off again. Another conservative play. Walker once again breaks that initial tackle. But a host of Jaguars bring him down. Fuamatu leads the way. And late flags again. Looks like a personal foul will be called on the Comets with 1:30 remaining in the first half.
Well, that'll definitely help. That'll help big time get one possible chance here. You know, Smith, he's a freshman out of Santa Rosa Academy in Menifee. We don't know too much about him as a prep, but if you look at the 3 quarterbacks we've seen now, Bo, 10 quarters of football, maybe Smith is the best downfield passing option at this point.
We've seen all 3 quarterbacks show well, but we've also seen them show not so well. Penalty did 2 things on that one, by the way. It stopped the clock, and it gave the Jaguars better field position. Looks like they will start this possession at midfield with 1:23 remaining and 1 timeout. Asher Booth almost in field goal range. He's hit as long of 51 in week 1. So they'll need to pick up about 16 yards.
If Brandon Smith can put together some kind of drive, he will be the quarterback in the second half, I'm sure.
Smith looks near side. They're going to go back to that bubble screen. Jourdain has some blockers and room. And the blockers looking backwards rather than forwards to pick. They needed one more block, and that's all it usually takes for big plays. One guy missing block. 2 blockers had one guy to block. Jourdain probably could have set it up a little bit nicer.
Hard tackle there, Chris Sanchez out of La Costa Canyon, but a good gain. Comets were excited, but so were the Cougs.
Sanchez with a nice open field
Jags.
tackle. Smith steps up in the pocket and is brought down from behind.
Khalid Walker out of North Las Vegas. Smith got away from the first man, still did not feel that backside pressure because it caught up to him real fast.
And after a big play by Jourdain, Brandon Smith is brought down for a sack, and Coach Carberry will have to call his last timeout to stop the clock at 56 seconds.
Yeah, and that handcuffs you a little bit because this is always one of my favorite situations if you're a coach, I would think, right? I mean, if I were a coach, right, maybe you can play a little bit conservative and try to get in there. You got a great field goal kicker who can score you 3 points from inside a 50-yard distance. But it could also give you that opportunity to possibly go for that strike.
Second and 14. Jourdain, the near side receiver.
That's the only thing that held him back is that the loss on the down does hamper you a little bit with those options. But
Holscher in the slot.
Think, yeah.
Coleman picks up the block, and miscommunication by Jourdain, and Smith. Looked like Smith wanted Jourdain to go to the outside, and Jourdain decided to go to the inside.
You knew I was about to say this is the one where you want to take a shot, right? That play, and that's exactly what they did, but it really had no chance. In fact, the ball should have been intercepted.
If they don't move the ball forward anymore, this would be a 58-yard field goal for Asher Booth.
Yeah, they're going to need it. They're going to need to get at least close to the down marker, really. We know Booth can be good from even inside 55.
Tried to set up another screen. It wasn't there. Well defended. Jourdain comes down with it, but is brought down once again. He's been all over the place. Vavega Cialoi.
That could have been disaster, Bo. You don't know what's worse, to take the sack or I think take the sack was what you were supposed to do there, even though they got 5 yards. Look at this, Bo. This is a 61-yard field goal.
Yeah, we got there's still plenty of time on the clock. No need to rush. They can't get the right personnel, and the Comets might have helped the Jaguars out a little bit right there.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I would have called a timeout right there with runners or players running off the field.
They got a great kicker. If it's worth 51 yards, maybe you call a timeout so you can set up maybe some sort of penetrating rush to at least distract the kicker, especially if you got someone like Asher Booth. But on a 61-yarder, don't even need to rush, right? If you can boot a 61-yarder, hats off to you.
Well, and something that might have been taken into consideration is a returner, because it is a 61-yard field goal. So maybe they're called the timeout to possibly set up a possible return, knowing that 61 yards is a boot.
I saw something today. I'm trying to think. I think it was in the Nebraska game today. An extra point. You don't see him return very often because it has to be caught in order to return it for 2 points. If it hits the ground, the ball's dead. Guy caught it, returned it back for 2 points.
So
that was an extra point.
The returner, Tyler Pye for the Comets, has his heels at the goal line. Asher Booth, 2 of 2 on the season. The 61-yard field goal is going to be short, and Pye's going to have an opportunity to return from the end zone. Pye gets to the edge, but is brought down by the Jaguars. Well defended.
Yeah, Asher might have talked his way into that one, Bo. That wouldn't, that was not even going to be good. From 45.
There wasn't much. It was either that
down.
or a Hail Mary. So I would have taken my chances with Booth. He would have had to really get into that one, though.
Yeah, he knew he needed the low trajectory, and that's what he got. But
I don't know the record here at Devore Stadium, but I would assume that would be close to it. Got to figure out the call first. And it looks like that will send both the teams as a personal foul is on the comments. Penalty will be declined, and that will take us into halftime here at Devore Stadium, Week 3 action. It's the visiting Palomar Comets up 16-7 over the home team, the Southwestern Jaguars. Be back with you with second half action here on the Cali Photos Network. And thank you for staying with us here on the Cali Photo Network. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner, Ramon Scott, bringing you today's action here at Devore Stadium. And both teams coming on the field at halftime. It's Palomar Comets 16, Southwestern Jaguars 7. Both teams opened up their offensive attack with touchdowns. Let's go through those scores quickly. Tawi Walker with a 3-yard score to open up the scoring. It drove down quickly. The Comets did. Really 2.5 minutes had that touchdown. Robinson responded for the Jaguars, punched it in from 3 yards out, tied at 7. Ogles hit a 21-yard field goal to give the Comets a 10-7 lead at the beginning of the second quarter, and Walker with that big fourth down play. That's really the play of the game at this point with the 51-yard touchdown. A heartbreaker for the Jaguars.
And we've seen a couple of spectacular plays so far this year, Bo, in the 3 games, particularly in that first game, the Grossmont game, the game-winning touchdown, the pass breakup. But I think that was the play of the year so far. Unfortunately, it went against the Jaguars.
And gaining momentum, I would say that is the biggest play we've seen with where we're at now. Just even the repercussion of it backfiring on the Jaguars, back-to-back penalties right after that. So we're here at halftime. Jaguars down 9. 1:45 still till the second half. We're looking down on the field, and we see Jimmy Inman warming up right now.
Well, and I also see Brandon Smith throwing a little bit as well, but we've seen the rotating quarterbacks of the Jaguars. We've seen them make the change at halftime. So wouldn't surprise me if Inman comes in. He has his helmet on right now, while Smith does not. But I think given what Smith did in the first half of this game, Bo, Smith may have earned the right to continue to start, but at this point, Inman has his helmet on. Smith doesn't.
Well,
that doesn't mean anything.
We've seen those first 2 games, and the starting quarterback didn't finish the game. So if Smith goes back in there and finishes the game, this will be the first time in 3 weeks that the Jaguars make that happen. And we'll see. The Jaguars will get the ball to open up the second half.
And Smith engineered that drive that, frankly, was probably the most the touchdown drive notwithstanding the first game, but everything was happening so fast. This one, remember, was a long drive, and it kind of caught us by surprise because Smith was not as effective last week in mop-up duty, and when he comes in on his possession and leads them right down the field for that score at the time, which was big, that made you think that, and that's why I said to you, Bo, I said, it's not that we have a lot to talk about as far as momentum changing in the game. We had a lot to talk about as far as what is Southwestern going to do now at quarterback, because all of a sudden, Smith, it's kind of like the current high school football rank. You're just a different one each time right now, but we'll see. Jaguars are going to get it first, so.
Jaguars chasing 9.
And Smith
2-possession game.
And Smith ran the ball well also in scrambling and getting out of some situations. 4 yardage. He picked up 2 very large gains scrambling when the play appeared to be dead.
We saw both quarterbacks use their legs well, converting on big third downs on both sides. Sean Bryant and Christian Jourdain back to receive for the Jaguars.
We might be overlooking the job that Zeke Payne. He's certainly worthy of mentioning here on our little halftime discussion, right? I mean, he has been very, very good, I'd say. I'd say very good.
Even when he was under pressure, getting away from that front line of the Jaguars, he didn't have anything downfield. He just dumped it off. And that just shows the progression of where Zeke Payne is at right now. Sometimes you'll see quarterbacks get pressured and try to fit it in a tight window. No turnovers in that first half. And this will be the Jaguars returning it and unable to get up to the 20-yard line to start the second half.
Renor Cox out of Escondido High, the sophomore, made the special teams tackle. Okay, Bo. That's Smith. It doesn't surprise me. I think he was a somewhat efficient and serviceable.
And the handoff. Nice open field tackle. Tried to strip the ball loose. But a 2-yard gain for the Jags to bring up a 2nd and 8.
Yeah, that hesitation, that's going to cost you every time. Sometimes, well, actually, the spot might have got he was going to get a nice spot out of that to the 20. Maybe that was his forward progress. I didn't think so. But he definitely got some yardage and then was pushed back. So it actually did work out after all. I was going to kind of be critical of the hesitation because sometimes you just got to go straight for that sideline and get that extra yard.
Jourdain, single side receiver on the slant throw behind him, brings it in for a Jaguar first down.
I think on that type of play right now, maybe Smith hasn't had enough reps because that's a pass that the other two quarterbacks have kind of, remember the struggles in the first half against Rosemont, but as the repetition came, so did the completions. While right now, Smith really hasn't had that type of a quick, short passing game that the Jaguars have employed the first 2 games. He's been more of a deep ball and up top type of thrower so far when he's been in this half and the 10 throws he threw last week.
Smith will hand it off to his running back. Not much there. Falls forward to the line of scrimmage, bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Khalid Walker in there again. 3rd tackle tonight. Plenty of time on this play clock. But obviously a little bit.
Gonna have to snap it quickly. Smith just gets it off. Bad snap at his feet.
It didn't matter what he really, I don't think he did get it off, and they didn't really, throw the flag, but the result was appropriate for what was going on there. That was not a good sequence at all for the Jags. Not sure what was going on there, to be honest with you, Bo.
Bad snap brings up a 3rd and 14 at the Jaguar 24.
I mean, it's a wasted down, and now you're in 3rd and long.
Pressure off the edge. Smith gets away, rolls right, has a receiver, and well done by the Comets. Safety steps in front of that pass for the first turnover of the game.
The freshman Chris Sanchez out of La Costa Canyon High School read that one about as well as all of us. That play had no chance, Bo. It was, what can you say?
He's trying to force it right there, and that's exactly what we were talking about. Payne didn't see nothing downfield, dropped it off, lived to fight another day. In this situation, Jaguars down 9, Smith feeling the pressure, feeling like he needs to make a big play, and Sanchez with his 2nd interception on the season for the Comets.
Well, I certainly thought that once you ran out of the hashes on that type of play that there was going to be no throw downfield because unless a man worked his way open. I mean, here you had basically 2 men on him with that safety up in front.
And Payne gets brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Did he get rid of it?
Sack, come on.
The head official looking for the near side lineman.
That's got to be a sack, Bo.
It looks like they're going to call intentional grounding, which wouldn't make any sense because there was a receiver in the flats.
I mean, he was being dragged to the ground.
And it looked like he was outside the tackle box as well, rolling right.
And that knee is being dragged down as he was throwing the ball.
I would say it was a sack over anything else. There was a flag thrown. And that, right, okay. So the flag was waved off. Great play by Payne right there and getting rid of that ball before his knee touched the ground. That edge rusher came out free, but Payne, heads up play, got rid of it in time to live another day.
I guess a great job. I mean, that's all you could say, because now all of a sudden you're back up at the line. The down marker's wrong, right?
3 receivers near side. Alex Hall, the slot receiver, the tight end in motion. They're going to hand it off to Walker off the left side. Plants his foot, gets north, and will drag a couple Jaguar defenders to the first down marker, and it looks like he will get 10 yards exactly to bring up a first and 10.
Just some terrific work there by Dylan Rollmeyer. They really opened up a nice lane, didn't they, on the left side?
They did.
A lot of room to run. Walker needs a little extra room to run, and he got it.
First and 10 at the Jaguar 37. This is the Comets' opening drive in the second half after the interception by Sanchez. Up the gut, untouched Walker. And he breaks the century mark on that one.
67, Jude Steffen again, and right now everything I've said about the Jaguars' run defense can be thrown out the window. The Comets are just picking up as much yardage as they need.
Walker having his best game of the season here against the Jaguars. Was the leading rusher, averaged just under 4 yards per carry on the season. I'd say after today's effort, he's going to bump that number up a bit. First and goal at the Comet 9. Play fake, has a receiver over the middle. Did he bring it in? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Comets.
Yeah, touchdown reception there, Brandon Johnson. He's had a nice game so far, and he made a great catch right there. That's quarterback and receiver on the same page. Goes down and gets it. Low throw, by intention, by design. Johnson, nice rolling catch, just like they teach you.
And that's what a great running game will do. Running game opening up that play fake. Those linebackers have to respect the run game, which leaves their corners one-on-one on the outside. And Johnson, getting that inside leverage, brings it in for the 9-yard touchdown and extends the lead 23-7 here at Devore Stadium.
I'm going to go back a little bit to that missed call. That should have been a sack, but nonetheless, get a break like that and you're Zeke Payne. And you got Walker, your bowling ball runner, just churning, and a great job by the Comets' offensive line on that drive.
Yeah, those were some of the biggest holes we've seen today on that last drive. Walker going untouched. We saw a lot of contact near the line of scrimmage, and Walker bouncing off tackles this time had a head of steam. And Walker looked good on that last possession. Great job by that Comet offensive line.
Yeah, they're just starting the third quarter. Citrus leading Grossmont 24-7. Mesa in front of East LA 28-17 at halftime. Long Beach leading Chaffee 21-10 at halftime.
This one will be turned from the 9-yard line. Jourdain will try the right side this time. Has a lane. Has some blockers in front of him. And gets knocked out of bounds in Comet territory.
What are we doing?
We've seen too many personal fouls called today.
Yeah, they'll even it up. But here's the thing, Bo. I get it, look, I have my hands up because I'm not contacting you, but I'm pressing you to go to your own sideline. It's either one or the other. I don't even want to analyze personal foul and unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Looks like the Jaguars will start in Comet territory.
Yeah, let's talk about the play, right? I mean, Jourdain.
They've been returning it to the left side up until this point, and then decide to switch it up and go to the right.
Yeah, great point, because it was kicked to Jourdain on the right side. They're not afraid. I wouldn't want to kick it to Jourdain the way he's looked tonight. And for Jourdain to get outside, there was definitely pursuit there. That he was faster than, so it was a great job by Jourdain.
Great blocking by the special teams of Southwestern. They really left a big lane on that right side you and I could have fit through.
We really got to see Jourdain's speed there. And
2 fouls. Looks like personal foul on Southwestern. And a dead ball, unsportsmanlike hunt on the Jaguars. I thought they'd balance it out with the Comets player in the grill of a Jaguars player. That's 2 15-yard penalties.
I agree. I saw the first one. You probably saw it too, Bo, out of the corner of your eye. It was right in front of the play, and I don't know if we caught it on camera, and now you see it. Forgive us, Bo. I'm sorry that I must announce, and you can see it right there, but an injured Jaguar, and that's Caden Herbert, who had a great game last week in the loss, and he's limping off, needing assistance. But all of a sudden, you've wiped off 30 yards from that great return. I thought that it would be retaliatory, but you saw after the initial confrontation, the two men continued to go at it. And even though you hold your arms up like I'm not doing anything, you can't walk your opponent to his own sideline with your momentum.
1st and 10 inside the 15 for the Jaguars. Brandon Smith looks near side, nothing there. Will roll right outside the pocket, pressure from behind, and he'll step out of bounds.
Nice job, Brandon Smith. Okay, didn't have to force it there. That yardage was a certainty on that play once he got to the outside. So it worried me because he was cocking his arm and the routes were still being run. He took those yards that they needed. The pass was not there.
2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. The toss right to the short side of the field. And a tackle for loss by the Comets. Bringing up a 3rd, and we'll call it 5.
Yeah, and that was Coleman.
So they've ran that option toss play a couple times. It's been all to the short side of the field. Smith will look near side, nothing there. Hits his receiver on the slant. That's Rosar. Almost gets loose, but brought down by the ankles. Nonetheless, it'll be a Jaguar 1st down.
Nice quick hitter right there. Take that chunk.
Jaguars keep the drive alive on that big 3rd down conversion. Smith once again to the left, to the right. Will tried to hit his receiver up the seam. Just not on the same page.
Yeah, Rayshawn Holscher, the modern-day Crusader, was out here, but I think it was intended for him, Bo.
Yeah, it kind of landed in between the Jourdain and Holscher. But that ball was definitely intended for Holscher. Had a free release off the line and looked good once he got past that 2nd level. 3 receivers near side for Smith. He'll roll that way. Nothing there. Pressure from the backside once again. And Smith brought down behind the line.
Yeah, credit leading the charge there for the Comets. Host of Palomar shirts there. And you can see, Bo, the play design when you have Smith in there, it's different from what we've seen when the other 2 quarterbacks are in. He's looking more downfield. We're not seeing quick screens, quick routes. In necessity, they are doing it, of course.
Right.
But not out of first down, for example.
3rd and 14 at the Jaguar 26. Smith has to tuck and run again. The ball's on the ground. I mean, really what it comes down to is Smith just has no time. He plants, and if nothing's there, he has to go, and the receivers just can't get downfield quick enough to get loose, to get open.
And, maybe it's not the right situation because we know that Southwestern can run a passing game that is more designed for getting the ball quickly, getting the ball outside the numbers, and trying to move the ball that way. So sometimes you have to adjust in relation to the way the defense, what they're giving you. Here comes McElligott.
Nice booming kick, and Pye will bring it in at the Comets 41, and that's where they will start their second offensive possession here in the second half with 8 minutes remaining in the third.
And that'll go as a 36-yarder. So not saying there's a change in the works for the next possession for Southwestern, but all of a sudden they need a more...
They need a big stop here.
Well, on offense, though, Bo, what they need is a quicker passing game, getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers more quickly. Smith, you're right, doesn't have the time.
We talked about Terry Wright touching the ball more, and he was banged up on that opening possession. We haven't seen him since. That's a tough hit for this Jaguars offense. Zeke Payne rolls right, and the corner looks like number 25, who we haven't seen much today, but Amir Connolly steps in front of that pass. And you talk about a big play, that's exactly what the Jaguars needed. Hopefully next time will be an interception.
Yeah, great play by Connolly, the former Monte Vista Monarch. That was going to be a tough interception. He probably wished he had another chance to grab it, but it would have been basically a diving or lunging interception right at the sideline. He was going to have to drag the toe a little bit too, probably, or the knee.
The Jaguars are going to get back in this game. They're going to need a big play like that for a turnover. Jaguars defense hasn't created any turnovers in this game so far. And Lewis up the middle falls forward for a tough 2.
Tackle there by Matthew Elliott out of Patrick Henry High School. And yeah, that's just it, Bo, right now. This is the one where they can kind of just keep them on their side of the field and try to get a possession where they can work with something.
Third and 8 at the Comets 43. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right for Zeke Payne. Payne will look near side. Nothing there. Pressure up the middle. And Payne will be brought down for the sack.
Well, we just mentioned Matthew Elliott, and there he is again, the freshman, the Patrick Henry Patriot. Elliott, he's got himself a sack.
And
a much-needed
Jaguars,
sack. It's a huge play to try to get back in this game right now.
Yeah, the Comets had really good starting field position, but the Jaguar defense comes up big. Down 16, they really couldn't give up too much. Ball will bounce at the 30, and the Comets will down it at the Jaguars 37.
So a 30-yard kick, so can't ask for much better if you're going to try to get some decent field position to start.
Looks like Coach Carberry is going to stick with Smith here. Smith's been on the run a few times, back-to-back possessions, threw an interception.
Bo, I've got Inman coming in.
Smith was in the huddle.
So this is what I'm saying. Now,
and we're not surprised by this.
And let's just see now. Now, can we get back? We're not going to see this. No way are we going to see the same type of plays. We're going to see them now try to get the ball close to the line of scrimmage, I would think, and into the playmaker's hands.
So tough back-to-back positions, and this is exactly what we expect with Inman. Gets it out quickly But another open field tackle by the Comets right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
That was Rayshawn Holscher. Yeah, no gain there, but that's the play. That was, by design, obviously, the play they're going to run.
Ricky Davis came up and made the nice open field tackle. Toss near side. And extracurricular activity on the Jaguars sideline.
Yeah.
The Comets player definitely shoved the Jaguars player, but the referee didn't see it.
But he knew, because he went to Riley Fountain immediately and said, "You do not initiate anything when you're on the opposition sideline. You just get out of there. It's always going to be a penalty on you if you are down there forcefully doing things, because there's no reason for you to be there."
3rd and 6 at the Jaguars 40. Pressure off the edge, crossed the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped. And that will be an offsides call. But once again, Comets rushers off the edge coming clean. Someone's got to pick that up eventually. We've seen that really up until this point. Whether it be a running back to step up to make that block or just pass protection, obviously it comes down to the quarterback as well, seeing that edge rusher coming. When the numbers aren't on your side, you got to make an adjustment at the line.
And again, there is some excitement on the Jaguars sideline. I think they are. I don't know if it's just because of the change, but they have some enthusiasm at this point, so they need to capitalize. They got a 3rd and short here.
Jumbo package, first time we've seen that today. And Elliott will fall forward near the first down marker. It looks like they will give it to him. First down marker was at the 47. And they will move the chains for a Jaguar first down.
Yeah, I think the Jaguar players were signaling themselves first down. I don't suggest there was a loose ball in there at all, and they were saying we have it. But it just took a long time to unpile that tackle.
Double doubles. Inman throws the post just out of the reach of Jourdain.
Yeah, you want to say he had it, but I don't think he really ever had it. I mean, one thing is, if you're going to wait for your receiver there, that's when the pass should have been made. So,
well, nice thing on that was Inman had some time to get rid of the ball, which was nice. He had a clean pocket there. We haven't seen that much here in the second half. The safety, Ricky Davis Jr., nice pickup by the halfback. That's exactly what I was talking about right there. And usually it's been an edge rusher, but that safety, Ricky Davis Jr., came clean, but nicely picked up by the halfback, and Inman picks up 8 on the ground.
I don't think it's a terrible idea if Inman scraps the play quickly and wants to get moving with his feet, but make that decision quick. But right now, you got another 3rd and short.
Another 3rd and 2, jumbo package. They're going to hand it off. And another first down for the Jaguars at the Comets 40.
Boy, was that ever great running there by Robinson, and you could see why the Jaguar line got fired up there. They took care of their job with the initial push, and the fact that they kind of won the push kind of gave Robinson his choice of where he wanted to run. It was going to be tougher to go up the middle. You weren't sure of the 2 yards. One step to the outside, you were home free to get that first down.
Coach Carberry and this coaching staff likes what they see, so they're going to stick with this jumbo package. Hand it off to Robinson again, who has a nice hole off the left side. And picks up half the first down.
Bo, do you remember back in the Grossmont game, we saw a sequence where Robinson carried the ball probably almost 4, 5, 6 times, not in a row, but he got all the carries. And it was one of the best rushing sequences of the season for Grossmont. Robinson, he might be the Jaguars' best rushing threat.
As far as tough runner in between the tackles. I would say Robinson is that guy. 2nd and 5. Inman on the play fake, rolls near side. Makes the first defender miss. Gives a stiff arm to the second defender, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 33.
Pushed out of there by Lance DeSorbo, sophomore out of Escondido High.
DeSorbo, 3rd on the team in tackles. Leads the team, well, before this game at least, led the team in tackles for loss. Another 3rd and 2.
We've been solid so far. Even I can figure out we're 2 for 2 on 3rd and 2 in this drive, Bo.
And they stay with the jumbo package. It's worked once, it worked twice. Inman keeps, but the pressure from behind, Inman tried to set up the block, but great pursuit on that back end by the Comets.
Emmett Viesi out of Honolulu, St. Louis with the tackle. He made a nice job, but that play just fell apart from the start, and I think it's a situation where the Jags are going to go for it here on 4th and 4. There was nothing Inman could do after the play was kind of botched from the beginning. He just had to try to salvage it and get a run out of it.
Down 16 with 1:40 remaining. They got to go for it. And Inman unable to connect with Jourdain on the slants. Gives the ball back to the Comets and turnovers on downs.
Not sure the play ever had a chance, but Inman, he wanted to show off his arm strength, and I know you worry sometimes. Right, you worry because you're throwing it. You want to throw a dart in traffic. You don't want anybody to pick it off, but you know what?
A little too hot to handle.
Yeah, and not only that, Christian was open.
Yeah.
The window was tight, but you could see where the ball went. I think Inman probably knows he could do that over again.
So a few successful third down conversions. Unable to convert on 4th down. The Comets will get the ball back. And this is Dorian Richardson from RBV, his first carry of the night.
Boy, Bo, what a pleasure it is to see Richardson. Look, these are some good backs we're seeing tonight, but for us, the record-setting running back Richardson, I mean, boy, what memories from his high school career. 8 touchdowns in a game. I mean, come on. Who does that?
On the roster, they have him at 5'8", 250. I mean, you can see on the field, he is a big boy in the back. Payne will hold it, keep it himself, and get a nice gain of 8.
I want to say he had another one like 7 touchdowns in the game as well. We know he had some massive yardage games, 300 yards rushing. Record-setting back at Rancho Buena Vista, Dorian Richardson. He's always been, a big back. He definitely looks a little bigger right now.
This might be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 2 for the Comets. They're going to hand it off to Richardson. Richardson keeps his feet moving. Looked like initially he was going to get that first down, but great job by the Jaguars.
Matthew Elliott is playing a great 3rd quarter. He was terrific in this 3rd quarter. Hats off to you, Mr. Elliott, keeping us in this game at the end of 3.
There was 1 touchdown in that 3rd quarter, and it was a big one to extend the lead to 16 for the Comets. Southwestern chasing 2 scores.
Yeah, you're down 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, so every drive's going to matter here.
And it's the start of the 4th quarter. Thank you for staying with us here on the Cali Photo Network. I'm Bo Fertig alongside my partner Ramon Scott, bringing you today's action here at Devore Stadium. It's the Comets 16, the Jaguars, or excuse me, Comets 23, Jaguars 7, Comets up 16. And the Jaguars will get the ball back to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, just what they needed. Start off the fourth with the ball.
And a line drive kick. Jourdain's going to have some room to return, but great coverage by that Comets special team.
Flag down.
That wasn't Jourdain, that was Escano. They're saying 12 men on the field,
Oh, no.
which would bring up a first down for the Comets. At least that's what we heard the line official tell the near side.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the Jaguars, out of a break, had 12 men on the field on special teams, and that will give a Comets a first down. That's just gut-wrenching.
It is. For all these dumb penalties you had, that's the penalty of the game, unfortunately, for the Jaguars. No, you don't want to give Zeke Payne the ball right back, and now the defense was so – they thought there was a change of possession. Guys are late getting out.
Payne looks near side, drops it off to Walker, crosses the 50 into Southwestern territory.
There's Matthew Elliott again.
Gain of 5 brings up a 2nd and 5. This game's still within reach with the start of the fourth quarter, but if the Comets score on this drive, it's going to be tough for the Jaguars to come back. After scoring on their opening possession to start the game, they haven't been in the red zone since. 2nd and 5, they hand off to Walker up the middle. And it looks like he'll be a yard short. So another 3rd and short.
Now I've got a 2-score lead, and I've got Walker. If Payne wants to try to fool me, but I'm going to try to stop, well.
Cassidy in motion, the tight end. They'll play fake the run, one-on-one on the outside, and broken up nicely. Alex Hall was the intended receiver.
Amir Connolly, great deflection there. Read the play beautifully. I'm glad he did. I might have been drawn in by the play fake. Why not? Why not go for it here? No doubt about it.
You're up 16, and this Jaguars offense hasn't been able to move the ball really since that opening drive. So conventional thinking would say punt it. But Zeke Payne still on the field with Walker in the backfield. 9 in the box. They're going to go with the one-on-one on the outside. They like Brooks, but broken up nicely by the near side corner. Great job. Brooks had a step, but unable to come down with it.
Elijah Williams right there. Great play. Good pass. Maybe he was even beat, but a good job to close that gap. And don't know if it was a deflection of the ball. He might have been just kind of reaching towards and was able to get his hand in there and mix it up as the ball was being received.
So after the 12 men on the field penalty, Jaguars get the ball at their own 44. Good field position. And Jaguars just shooting themselves in the foot right now. Looks like a false start.
Look,
what do they say? 80% mental, 20% physical?
Yeah, and the other 50, the other half is whatever. Look, what happened in the Grossmont game was one thing. They made the big plays. They found a way to get it done. Last week they were overmatched. They had their moments. They even played some decent series on both sides of the ball. Here they've done some things wrong, and they really, like you said, Bo, they might only have themselves to blame a bit
Ricky
for this.
Davis Jr. off the edge. Quick throw near side. Unable to bring it in was the intended receiver.
Yeah, I was trying to get it out here to Tim Christopher, the former Helix Highlander, and had to rush it a little bit. Maybe it could have been grabbed. I don't know, but they need some type of play to build some confidence.
Right,
They're not even getting yardage right now.
These are tough plays. These aren't easy plays, but someone's got to come up with a big play here. 13:08 remaining in regulation. Jaguars chasing 16. Inman near side. Quarterback spy. Inman rolls left, gets hit from behind. Was the grab made? No.
I wasn't sure.
It was close.
You can hit the back button on your YouTube. I thought maybe it did hit the ground. So
Inman had him lined up, but the hit from behind.
type it in the chat. Let us know what you think.
Nonetheless, 3rd and 15 at the Jaguars 39. Just under 13 minutes remaining. Inman looks near side. Doesn't have anything. Steps up in the pocket and is brought down once again by DeSorbo for the sack.
Yeah, what a game he's had. Or second half, I should say. But, yeah, he's had some big moments here. And, look, Bo, the Jaguars might have made the right change in what they needed because it wasn't working out. But now all of a sudden you're getting into a game where you need bigger chunks.
Right.
You know, if you could sustain one scoring drive, that would work. But you're not getting yardage now, so.
Yeah, they continue to work from behind the sticks, and that's not easy to work with. And Pye will bring it in at the 30. Tries to bring it back and switch fields, but once again, good job by the Jaguars special teams filling all the lanes.
33-yard kick, 5-yard return. So that's all I'm saying is, you know, now you're in a situation where maybe you are going to need some more deep balls. I don't know if, you know, they would consider going back to Smith. You know, when we saw the quarterbacks warming up, we didn't even see Orr. Yeah. So you wonder about his
Smith started the second half with an interception and got the ball poked away, put it on the ground, but fortunately was recovered by the Jaguars. So in this situation, you almost have to give Inman the opportunity. As Orr was given the opportunity to win the game. Walker off the right side, gets to the edge, hops over a defender, and the 10-yard gain will move the chains.
What can't he do?
Yeah, at this point, we've seen Walker do just about everything. From picking up loose balls to turning them into 51-yard touchdowns, picking up edge rushers, receiving, breaking through a few tackles. Walker's definitely been the player of the game up until this point. Dye and Tajay Brooks, the near side receivers. They're going to hand it off to Dorian Richardson, gets through two defenders and bullies his way forward to the 40 for a nice 15-yard gain. His longest gain of the season.
Now that was vintage Dorian Richardson, right? You know, he doesn't necessarily always need a hole. It helped to get one there, but he got away from that first contact mostly because of that size that he has.
Well, that initial defender was 50-50. He wasn't sure if the quarterback was going to keep it or hand it off, and we've seen Zeke Payne keep it and use his legs. Dorian Richardson had 3 carries for 17 yards on the season. That was a 15-yard gain right there. Richardson gets the ball again off the right side, hops over his own guy, and picks up another huge gain. This one 19 yards, so 2 carries for 36 yards for Richardson.
Look, I love Walker. He's been terrific tonight. I like watching him run. I want to see him. Richardson is just so fun to see, really. I mean, he's electrifying. He's not a huge speed burner. I'm just saying the way he runs, carries the ball, even the cut.
Right, hopping over his own lineman, yeah. No,
he's
good,
big and he
good
cut
footwork
like
for a 250-pound running back.
Thank you.
Comments at the 21 after 2 big rushing gains by Richardson. Play fake over the middle. Payne hits his receiver for a 9-yard gain.
Kaiser Cambridge-Show out of St. Louis High in Hawaii.
His first reception of the game, coming up on the 10-minute mark here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, not only on a march here to possibly get some points, but down under 10 minutes to go in the game now. A score is going to put it out of reach, barring some type of, sudden touchdowns from the Jags.
Play fake again, has a receiver open in the corner. Unable to bring it in was Pye.
Payne can only chide himself for that one, right? I mean, he'd love to have that one back. He just missed it. A wide open touchdown right there, overthrown.
Maybe a little more touch on that would have allowed Pye to get under it.
Yeah. Not going to fault Zeke. He's been terrific. But he had the clinching score there, really.
3rd and 2 at the Jaguar 13. They'll go far side. And the flag thrown late. Wasn't sure if that ball was catchable or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure I see it the way the officials did there, Bo. It just didn't seem to be intentional contact by the defender. Now, it doesn't have to be necessarily, but on a ball like that, you'd expect a call to be made only if there was intentional to defend a guy, because it looked to me like they were just getting into a body battle there near the end zone. Yes, the Jaguars' defender's back may have been turned the wrong way, and that looks bad. So that's probably where the call came from.
Richardson in the backfield, tight end in motion. Richardson will get the handoff up the middle. Contact behind the line of scrimmage, and he'll be brought down for a 2-yard loss.
Dominic Jenkins out of Richmond, Virginia for Southwestern. He was the guy that kind of got his arm in underneath the legs to start the ball carrier falling to the ground, and then the rest of the Jaguars were able to stop Richardson. But this clock continues to run now under 9 minutes, and you're inside the 5-yard line. Great job here by the Comets.
Richardson stays in the game, this time the right side of Payne. Payne over the middle. Well defended by the Jaguars.
Amir Conley's had a very, very nice game for Southwestern in a game where there haven't been a lot of great things to talk about all of a sudden for the Jags. Good play by Conley. Kind of getting in the way there.
Brings up a 3rd and 4 for the Comets.
And what you're going to need is a 0 here, to be honest with you, Bo. So even if they run the field goal team on, they're going to have to cross their fingers.
Richardson gets the handoff, but once again is tackled behind a line of scrimmage. Multiple Jaguars on the scene, bringing Richardson down.
Well, I think Matthew Elliott, he might win Coach Carberry's Defensive Player of the Game award today. I'd say Elliott has been just about everywhere.
Ogles comes on for Palomar. He's 3 for 3 on the season. Made his field goal earlier today in the second quarter from 21 yards out. This one's going to be from 23. Snap is good. Hold is good. Kick is good. And Ogles gives the Comets a 26-7 lead here at Devore Stadium.
Yeah, and that could be a clincher, a 19-point lead with 8 minutes left. Just considering that the Griffins are not showing a big strike ability right now.
Yeah, the quarterbacks didn't have much time coming up to this point. And down 19, the Comets are going to pin their ears back and be coming at the quarterback, no matter who's in there.
Going to need some Christian Jourdain magic on this return. I'm surprised they've continued to kick it that way. You got a left-footed boot over here, so maybe doesn't have as much choice or control. Or
they're going to kick it from the near side hash mark. Jourdain's had all the returns up to this point. They haven't kicked it to Bryant. This one will be kicked to Bryant near side. Oh no, the front line will get it. Try to switch fields away from all the blockers. Crosses the 20, but is brought down at the 23.
Well, you know who that was. MVP of the game so far for the Jags, Matthew Elliott. Might want to line him up at receiver. Taking some deep threats with old number 39.
Inman comes back on the field for the Jaguars. Under 8 minutes remaining.
I got your back, Matthew.
Comets
I'll put you on
26,
offense.
Jaguars 7. Well, I was calling the running back Coleman Elliott for a while, so maybe it was a little foreshadowing on my end. Coleman in the backfield. Inman looking near side. Has a receiver over the middle. Connects. And that is the Jaguars' biggest gain through the air with Inman on the field.
First time we've seen a catch today from Jaquan Dorsey out of Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Dorsey, a big receiver. The biggest receiver on the field for the Jaguars. Good build. 1st and 10 from the Jaguars, 36. Elliott up the middle. Nice move, got to the edge. Had one guy to break the tackle and had a lot of green on the other side. Ricky Davis Jr., nice open field tackle by the Shoelaces. But another first down, back-to-back first downs for the Jaguars. Inman will keep it himself, but is brought down. Is that number 20? Yes, it is. Manos with the sack.
What a game for Luke Manos. Maybe we haven't called his name since the first half, but he pretty much dominated the first half. So several standouts on the defensive side of the ball for the Comets today.
2nd and 12. Inman looks near side, has his receiver on the hook, but broken up nicely right there by number 4, Jalen Dye, the defensive back from Cathedral Catholic.
Okay, broken up nicely. Must have got there right as the ball did because it was very, very close.
Yeah, the timing was there. Good ball. It was going right to the chest of the intended receiver, but Dye broke it up nicely to bring up a 3rd and 12.
I'm seeing it through my crimson-colored glasses, I guess.
Inman. Pressure. The ball's loose on the ground, scooped up by Jaguar. Inman is still on the ground, gets up, hobbling.
What did they call it, Bo?
They called it a fumble. Inman didn't have his arm moving forward.
I never know anymore after seeing that play in the NFL last week where the ball was actually touched and deflected forward 20 yards and they called it a fumble.
And the punting team comes on for the Jaguars. 6 minutes and counting here in the fourth quarter.
Well, I get it. I guess you're resigned in this game because there at
A
least
fake punt.
he's going to have it. I
Across the
think.
50. It's going to be close.
Oh, it was a
the ball's
jarring
loose. On the ground, scooped up by the Comets. It would have been close. The ball carrier was right at the first down marker,
bad.
but the helmet on the ball jars the ball loose.
It was Jalen Dye who created that fumble.
Dye with a nice.
It was going to be
pass
so
breakup.
close. It looks like he didn't have it considering where the ball is right now.
Oh, but it was knocked backwards.
Right. If
Right.
you consider as far as he would have gotten, especially if he would have held on to the ball and had
Fall
someone
forward.
bring him down,
Right.
it would have been right at the marker at a worst-case scenario. So
Another tough break for the Jaguars. They haven't had, really since that first quarter, haven't had any breaks go their way.
probably the only thing that Palomar's done wrong all day. They should have seen that one coming a mile away. I was questioning why the Jags were even punting even from a 4th and 10. And here, this
Ball's
might be
on the
the
ground
turnover they
again.
need.
And the Jaguars' first turnover of the game. And they will start this possession inside Comet territory.
Leo Larry from Burlington, North Carolina, Williams High School with the recovery. I'm not sure it was jarred loose at all. It looked like a busted play there. They couldn't
Bad exchange.
yeah. Big break.
Yeah, they try to get number 5, Renee Garner, his first carry of the game, and the exchange from Payne to Gardner. First down inside the 40. Nice pitch and catch right there. That's Tim Christopher. Falls forward for a couple yards.
So, Bo, you see the type of plays that are run with Inman. They don't have that. They have big play potential, but against a decent defense like the Comets are playing, the Comets can kind of see it coming. They're not worried necessarily about a deep threat, so they're able to keep the defenders close. These are it's a nice design, and a successful play. Make no mistake, couple yards.
Inman looks both ways. Tried to hit his running back out of the backfield. That was Coleman. Went right through his hands. That time it was actually a nice touch right there.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that wasn't held on by Coleman.
Coleman had 2 defenders around him.
Yes.
But still right in his breadbasket.
It's going to help out your quarterback.
Especially when he's been struggling most of this game. Inman rolls left. Throws the ball. And a great grab.
I can't believe that ball was held on to by Jalen Poston.
In
that
a
might
tight
have been right
window.
through the arms of the defender, I think. And it was a great. Everyone in the stadium knew where he was throwing that ball, including the defenders. Good hard pass and a good catch.
And the Jaguars now inside the red zone for the first time since the first quarter. This ball thrown to the end zone. Has a receiver. Did he get his foot in? No.
Gosh, is he sure, Bo?
Good ball by Inman.
Jourdain, he knows what he is doing on that sideline.
I would love to see the replay on that one. Looked like Jourdain got a foot in.
Oh, man. I mean, he is a very experienced man when it comes to making that type of play. The ball was caught.
Inman throws it to the end zone again. Ricky Davis Jr. steps in front of the receiver, and that's exactly how the game's been going all day.
Yeah, that's too bad because it was a great defense. He baited him, really. I mean, Davis Jr. knew that if he was going to throw that ball, and his man did come open to an extent. To Inman, his receiver looked open. To Davis said, "This is my ball all the way." As soon as it was let go by Inman, Davis was licking his chops.
Ricky Davis Jr., his 3rd interception on the season.
Wow.
Return 1 for a score. He leads the team in interceptions. Just another tough break for the Jaguars. As soon as
might lead the state.
It seems like they have something going. Can't catch a break here in this one. Lewis gets the handoff. And you know, it's tough because they finally get something going. They finally get the momentum. It looks like things are clicking. And then, you know, a defender makes a great play on the ball.
And it wasn't, maybe you can help me or describe it. You were watching it so close. It wasn't a double pump by Inman, but his elbow jerked a little, like he didn't start his delivery when he wanted to. He was waiting for his man just to get a little more open because we know we have to go for the end zone, but I thought he was open before then. You don't need to throw the ball in the end zone. You can get the completion down to the 10, to the 5-yard line, and still achieve what you need.
I think he felt the clock was against him, and he felt like he needed to make a big play right there in the end zone. And, you said it perfectly. Davis Jr. just sucked him in. I mean, Davis Jr. had a beat on that ball all the way, and Lewis gets past the first down marker. No, I mean, there's a reason why Davis he's averaged an interception a game. Initially, the receiver was open, but Davis, the safety, just covers the field.
Yeah, that was the startling thing because you saw it and you're like, wow, this, we're really going to get a downfield play.
Right.
He had slipped behind. There were 3 defenders in the area, but the receiver had actually slipped by about 5 yards. And yes, a leading ball, would have had him. And that's what I'm saying. He kind of waited, and that's how Davis knew.
Lewis will get the handoff again. Break through a tackle and is brought down at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I'll give some credit here. Jason Martinez, the San Ysidro Cougar, was 97 there. So 2.5 to go.
Jaguars will go on the road for their next couple games. They'll play at Cerritos next week. Won't be back here at Devore Stadium until about 4 weeks from now. A bad snap, and Payne will just jump on it to keep possession.
Got some scores before we get out of here. Citrus leading Grossmont 31-21. That is in the 4th, 13 minutes to go. Mesa, we still don't have an update on them, 28-17 at halftime. They're well into the 3rd quarter, I'm sure. But yeah, at Cerritos, at Chaffee.
And then a bye week, then they'll be back at home.
Cerritos just 6 points today against a pretty decent Allen Hancock club, 15-6. Hancock beats Cerritos today. Cerritos just 1-2 on the season. They had 200 yards of offense today, and so did Hancock. A real defensive game, so that might be right now kind of what Southwestern needs to just get into a game where they can make just 1 or 2 key plays.
Yeah, really, when you look back on it, it was the 51-yard touchdown by Walker on the 4th down, huge momentum play, and then a couple big penalties, allowing the Comets to extend their drive.
Nice job by the punter. That's Ogles. He handles all the duties. So they'll be playing a Cerritos team that had just 22 yards rushing today, and we see how well Palomar ran the ball today. So maybe that'll work out a little bit better for Southwestern next week. And, hey, Bo, congratulations to head coach Joe Early, his 100th career victory in this game tonight.
Going against a coach, and Coach Carberry, who I'm sure he knows fairly well. I'm sure even though Carberry doesn't like the result of this game, he'll congratulate Early on the big mark. Inman, far side, hits his receiver, back shoulder. You know, Inman, for what it's worth, throws a beautiful ball. He has great spin on that rock.
Right. You only want to say, hey, maybe you know what? And that was Christian Jourdain. Let's not forget. But when you see it like that, you're like, well, you know, maybe we should have been doing this.
Right, exactly. Inman wants to go back to Jourdain.
Oh!
And it's just been that type of game. And the home crowd, that's exactly what the home crowd wanted. They've been booing this officiating crew all day long.
I'm sure you guys saw it, and Kevin Bear's got him perfectly in frame here. The umpire got in the way of that one. And I hope it went off his shoulder and not off the noggin, but boy, from here it looked like it was right off his head. Yeah, I don't know if it was going to – it looked like it was going to be a completion. The defender was coming in. It wasn't going to be picked or anything. Nice play. I'll give some credit right there. Dies at a nice.
He's been great this fourth quarter.
Yeah. It was almost caught, but it was just the touch that Dye needed to get his paw in there that was going to make that one difficult to bring in. So.
And the bubble screen to Christopher. Gets past the first down marker. And Jaguars will call a timeout for most likely one more play in regulation.
So they're going to need to get one, if not both, those road victories. Obviously, next week will be an easier situation, I believe. Chafee is down to Long Beach 21-10 at halftime. So I'm talking about the next two opponents for Southwestern. Cerritos lost today, and Chafee is down to Long Beach City.
Chafee's going to drop to 1-2. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, and after this one, Southwestern will be at 1-2. So they're going to need most likely both of those wins, because when they come back home, they play against some powerhouses. The competition gets much more stiff when they come back to Devore Stadium.
And as of right now, if you look at the standings, okay, we're not in league yet, so I've got the standings of the King of San Diego, and I've got the Palomar Comets on top at 1-0. Southwestern 1-1. Grossmont 0-1. Mesa hasn't played any of them yet. Look at Inman. Oh, God, look out, Jimmy. He's going to end up taking about an 18-yard sack on the last play of the game, Bo. Appreciate you.
Likewise, Ramon. And that will do it here. Any quick last words? Obviously, another tough loss after tying the game in the opening quarter at 7 apiece. Southwestern just really wasn't able to get anything going after that.
Southwestern has an experienced coaching staff. We're just here observing the game. But one thing that they're going to have to decide is how they can manage to get these quarterbacks into the right situation. I can appreciate when I have one quarterback in the first half. Sometimes things are going well, maybe they're not. I'll try to ride with the hot hand. There's nothing wrong with rotating possessions either, or just trying to keep your opponent off balance a little bit too, because really, remember, Southwestern had some success with that drive.
Right.
Then once the adjustments were made, that's where Palomar came in and all of a sudden went nowhere. Now Inman comes in. It took him a little while to get rolling. Started to have some success again, using not only the plays that we're used to from him, but also downfield passing. So I don't know. That's not for me to decide. These guys are great coaches, and they've done it for a long, long time and had a lot of success. But when you go through the game so far and you're Southwestern and you've scored 27 points in 3 games, that ain't going to work.
Once again, congratulations to Palomar head coach Early on his 100th win. And that will do it here from Devore Stadium. Palomar improves to 2-1. Southwestern drops to 1-2 after the Comets win 26-7 for my partner Ramon Scott and our videographer Kevin Bear. I'm Bo Furtick saying thank you for tuning in and good night.